Alright, y'all. Welcome to another video on Luderco Arms, where we work on everything. This is a Troy Built TB360 rear wheel drive walk behind mower. And I've owned this, I bought it brand new. And it was a pretty good mower for about 2 years. And then the Self-Propelled locked up on it. And I figured out why. And used it as just a regular push mower for a while. And then I was on shifts and the economy was good. Somebody else was president. And so I started paying a guy to cut my grass. So this just kind of sat along with my zero turn for a couple of years in the shed and collected dust. But now the economy is shit again with our current president. And I'm not on shift anymore, so my paycheck's a little bit less. But my time is better, I guess, people would say. Depends on if you like shift work or not. But none of that matters. So I'm going to have to start cutting grass again. So I got this in the tractor I got to get running again. So this has definitely got bad gas in it. Now, luckily it's not ethanol gas, so it hasn't destroyed all the plastic. I only run regular gas with no ethanol in it in these things. But we're going to have to do a couple of things to get this thing ready. So first of all, this plastic trim piece right here, going in the trash. All it does is trap leaves and stuff in between this screen that's already there, and this causes a bunch of problems that I don't need, and it doesn't need to be there. It's just plastic trim. So that's going to go in the trash. Well, it's going to get hung up on the wall in here so we don't lose the model tag. So that part's done. So let me show you why this Self-Propelled quit working. On this mower, they've got this piece of plastic. Yes, plastic. Here. And underneath there is a pulley, and there's a belt running back here to a transmission that turns these wheels. And see all this pine, see this pine cone stuck up in here? This is a piss poor design. Not only is this all plastic, and you can see right here, this is the reason it quit working. See that big hole right there? Well, once that hole got in there, then pine cones and leaves and grass packed up inside this thing and locked the belt down and destroyed it. So when I was still using it as just a push mower, I snatched the belt out of it. But you can see this whole back end of this mower is plastic. So I'm going to go ahead and try to take this piece off. It doesn't need to be there. Well, I may leave it there. It's not hurting anything. But what I am going to do is try to get these back wheels to freewheel better than what they do. See, these front wheels, you know, they just freewheel. And since this is now a push mower, these back wheels, you can hear it's in there. It's turning that gear and everything. And I'm having to put some pressure on it. So you can't just push this thing. So I'd like to see if maybe I can get those wheels, those back wheels, to freewheel. And if I can, then that's going to make this a whole lot easier to use. I think both sides are like that. Let me see. Yeah, see, nobody wants to push that around. So we'll see if we can get that fixed. You can see this is such a piss poor design. All this, the metal ends here. Everything back here is friggin' plastic. And it takes a beating in my yard. I mean, I guess it'd be great if you lived in a gated community with a yard the size of a postage stamp with no sticks and no pine cones. And yeah, I know you're supposed to pick all that stuff up, but I live out in the country. We just mow it up. When you mow over it, it tears it up into little pieces. It goes back into the soil. It's good for the land. Anyways, so that's what we got to do. So we're going to have to dump the bad gas out of this thing. fill it up with good gas. The other thing on this is it does not have a choke or any kind of controls on it. It's supposedly supposedly does all that by itself. And it's always started pretty good. I also have an air filter coming for it, which has not arrived yet because this air filter is filthy as all get out. Looks like it's packed with mud. So I'm going to go back here under. I have a bagger for this, but I don't ever use it. I got the mulching plug in it instead. But I'm going to pull that cover right there and see if maybe there's some way to do something with these back wheels. I don't know. If not, then I'll just have to push it, but it'd be a whole lot easier if it wasn't resisting me every time I do it. We'll see. So let me get set up. I'll be back. All right, y'all, I got kind of carried away. I went ahead and dumped the bad gasoline out of this thing, and it was nasty. It smelled like turpentine. It's been in there maybe three and a half years, something like that. So I got good gas in it now. I purged out all the bad gas from the fuel lines in the carburetor, and I got it to crank up. Now I got a little racket, and I think I know what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's the pulley that used to hold that belt, so we'll have to take a look at that. It sounds almost like the blade's hitting something, but you'll see once it only does it when you crank it, and then it goes away. So you hear that metal beating sound when it first cranks? Here, let me show you again. One more time. So I think that whatever that is, it's not coming from the motor. And I checked the blade. It's got clearance all the way around. There's nothing bent into it. There's nothing hitting the blade. So I'm guessing that there's probably something, a rock, a piece of metal that's broke off, the pulley's bent. There's something up inside of there under that plastic cover for that pulley that's getting hit whenever it cranks up. And for some reason, once it starts, you never hear the sound again. So we're probably going to pull that cover off anyways, so we'll see when we get to that part. So let me figure out what I'm going to do here, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all. So we got this thing running the other day, as you saw earlier in this video. And now the rest of my parts are here. So we're going to pull this off. And you can see how badly this air cleaner needs to be replaced. So we just pull it off of there. Brush all this mess here out of there, being careful not to get it down into the carburetor, of course. And we've got our fresh new filter, and it goes back down on there. And you got to get what it needs. I believe this piece, it had this plastic piece on there. It's keeping it from going down to keep the seal good. Alright, so now we can just pop her right down on there, and she sits just like that. Put the cover back over the top of her. Alright, so our air filter's changed. We're good to go with that. Now we need to flip this thing up on the side. And we need to pull this blade off because it is toast, and then put a new one on it. And we also need to pull this plastic cover off of here, and we're gonna get rid of some of this stuff that we don't need that went to the Self-Propelled that no longer works. So the blade's real easy. It's just a 5/8 socket. That comes right off. Set that over here to the side. And we got, looks like 10mm holding this piece of plastic on. Yeah, it ain't no wonder that damn piece of crap wasn't working. I bet you that's where all that jingle jangle was coming from too. But it won't be anymore, because we are done with that mess. Now, you'll notice that my adapter here is all kind of tore up, so we may have to make some adjustments here as far as that goes. Yeah, this mess here, this is why this thing wasn't working anymore, and why it will, even if I fix it, it still won't work right, because that just keeps getting filled up with crap. So we're going to leave that off. Don't need it, don't want it. Alright, so let me get the new blade here, and I think what we're going to have to do is a little rigging up. So if you look here, this blade should fit on that cross piece there. And then there should be two teats right here that stick up through it. Obviously, none of that is here anymore. It's all worn out, and pretty badly. So, first I'm going to look through this package of stuff that came with the new blade and see what kind of stuff we got in there. Because I think some of these, yeah, some of these are spaced. So if we get the right one, we may, yeah, that's not the right one. This one might work. Yeah, see, that might work right there. Put that in there. Plate. Well, that's got to go on. All right, let's see here. So I'm going to end up ordering a new adapter for this bottom, this piece. But for now, because I do need to cut some grass, we're going to do this kind of janky. It'll work. It might not be the preferred way of doing it, but it will get the job done. Yeah, that's Alright, we're gonna have to do something a little different. So what I'm going to do is drill these two teats out, or drill out where they used to be, and then I can put a couple bolts in there. So let me drill that out real quick and I'll be right back. Alright y'all, here's what we came up with to get us through another season. We used a washer and the bolt, crank bolt, to center the blade up on the crank, and then we drilled the adapter, put two 3/8 bolts in there, and that should hold us good until we get around to replacing all this. Well, replacing this mower. I'm pretty sure that this whole plastic back half here probably only lasts another season or two. So now that we got that on there, what we need to do is finish up removing the self-propelled stuff, or at least enough of it to make this an easily pushed push mower. So let me grab a few tools and we'll go ahead and do that. All right, y'all, back here there's a plastic cover here that goes over this mess here, and you pull it off and it's slammed full of crap too, and all that's because there was that hole in the plastic cover for the belt drive, because nowadays we make stuff out of plastic that ought to be made out of metal. So obviously this is useless. That is not going to do me any good. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to push this thing outside and blow all that crap out of there, and I'm going to cut that belt off. And then once that's done, I'm going to I pulled this off. I'm going to pull this nut and see what is interfacing with that wheel for the self-propel on this thing. So let me clean this mess up and I'll be right. Alright, I got most of that garbage cleaned out of there. And now I'm going to cut this belt off so it doesn't get hung up on something and cause more problems, since we're not going to be self-propelled anymore. And this thing is just all caught up in here. It did not do well. So I think that this mower probably would have served somebody with a little postage stamp of a yard pretty good, but in my case it's just not good at all, and it's all jammed up in here. Seem to get that to like stuck in there. Oh, there we go. There's. Well, there we go. She's out of there now, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. So if you look down here in the bottom, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's an axle. There's a ton of crap in there, but there's an axle. I believe that this transmission via that belt is turning a couple of spur gears that are probably turning these. So what my problem is I just want to use this as a push mower, but that's not acceptable. So what we need to do is get this wheel off. Well, we can put this cover back on here because we're not going to be needing anything out of there anytime soon. That'll just be a storage spot for dirt and leaves. Luckily, I'm sure this plastic is going to fall apart long before we'll have to worry about anything in there rusting up. So there's that. Let's see about getting this wheel loose from here. And see what's... Okay, yep. Just as I suspected, there's a spur gear right there. I wonder if we can pull that off of there, or, because this wheel, there's bearings in it, so it'll spin on this axle fine if we get, maybe we can take that ring off there. Yeah, of course it's going to be. I don't know if that's pressed on there or what. Alright, well, can always go with option B, which is to pull this gear off. See if that gives us what we're looking for. Get a socket here. So that's going to be an 8mm. Probably want to loosen it, not tighten it, and strip it. Alright. So we got that off of there. So now, hopefully, stick this back up here, because might as well keep stuff out from behind it. Put this back on. There we go, that's better. Huh? That's much better. Alright, now we got to do that. Do that to the other side, and we'll be golden. We can even put the fancy little hubcap back on. Oh yeah. Fancy. Alright, so we'll knock the other side out real quick, and this thing will be ready to go back to cutting grass. Alright, take the ring gear off. Nope, something's still interfering. Oh, wait a minute. No, it's not that. Yeah, it's just this plastic here. All right. Now she rolls. So now she rolls. Let's see if that solved our clanging metal on startup. I'm not sure, but we'll see. I would say that is a winner. Now I got a push mower again. So next step is to get the riding mower fixed. But that'll be another video. So hopefully this has helped somebody out. I don't know how many people are like me and would rather just have a nice rolling push mower than a self-propelled that doesn't friggin' work and is all jammed up all the time. But if that's what you want, there you go. You can make it work. Won't have to worry about that crap anymore. Now we just have to worry about everything from here back is plastic and it's going to fall apart. It's already loose, it's already wobbly in there. It's getting worn, but it'll make it through this season at least, so we'll deal with that later. All right. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a good one.